Good morning, and welcome to day 4 of Script Gym. God, that went fast, didn't it? We're up to day 4 already. We've done the welcome, the intro, what Script Gym's all about. We've done the 5 basic pillars, the main tenets of Script Gym, IMDCA. We've done the goal setting workshop, and you've written your one sheet, your pitch, and your treatment. And today we're on to character, which is paramount to your script. Who the main character is, what they're fighting against, why we're compelled to watch them throughout this entire film. We don't have to like them per se, but we do want to be engaged with them. We want to follow them through whatever trials and tribulations they endure, and hopefully there are a lot. Hopefully there's a lot of conflict that they have to face, and a lot of tension going on in their life, internal and external. So the first quote of the day is by Anne Lamott. It says, "Plot grows out of character. If you focus on the people in your story, something is bound to happen." So that's what generally you remember from scripts. You remember what's it about? Oh, it's about this particular person who's going through this, that, and the other. Not always, of course, but in a lot of instances, that is what we focus on. The warm-up, I put a little video. It's from P90X. It's plyometrics, but you won't be jumping around. You'll just be doing the warm-up. It's the first 10 minutes. Of the video, 9 to 10 minutes, and it even has a little bit of stretching, but nothing that's really unfamiliar, and it's a great program. You might want to even do the video. It's about an hour long, so if you want to use that for your workout for today, that would be fine. It's not too intense a workout, but it definitely is a good aerobic training for you. Okay, and now that we're talking about character and characters that resonate with you, and that you hope to have characters that we can identify with, or at least emotionally connect with, the writing exercise for the day, the 10-minute exercise that you do, and I'll give you the prompt, is you answer the door. And standing there, or you get in an elevator and standing there in front of you, is your favorite literary, fictional, or cinematic character. It can be from a book, it can be from a movie, it could be from manga, whatever it happens to be. It's the character that you really have connected with, that you engage with. I want you to write about the encounter. What would you say to this character? What would you tell them? Would you just stand there? Would you have a heart-to-heart with them? Would you tell them what they mean to you and why? So again, take 10 minutes and write that essay and that encounter. You can write it as a scene, you can write it in prose, you can do whatever you want, but do it in your notebook and take 10 minutes, and I'll see you. Pause the video and I'll see you when you come back. Welcome back. Okay, so now that you've done that exercise, we're going to talk a little bit about character. This is your short lecture of the day, and I promise you, like I said after yesterday, the lectures will be shorter and shorter. What you're trying to do is to create a living, breathing character. It's kind of like playing God. I mean, you're creating life, as it were. From the unknown, you're creating a living, breathing, three-dimensional character and the world in which they live. And the hint is your hero, or all your characters in a way, are you. They're just reflections of you, variations of you. What's important to you morally and spiritually, and what engages you will somehow affect who that character is. For example, for most of my characters, there's a redemptive quality in them. They are, say, neglected, or not neglected, but underestimated. And then they get to prove themselves by the end. Like whether you look at Rocky Balboa in the movie Rocky, or you look at Prince Hal in Henry IV Part 1, who becomes Henry V, they're both kind of the same thing. Rocky says, I hope at the end of this thing I'm not going to win, but that at least if I'm standing, they'll know I'm not just another bum from the neighborhood. Whereas Henry V says, I know you all and will a while uphold the unyoked humor of your idleness. What he's saying is, I know you think I'm a screw up, but I promise you I'm going to be that much better when I prove who I really am. And he does. He becomes the great king, Henry V. So it's a daunting responsibility to create these characters, and if it's a comedy, like I said, it's no less a fully dimensional character. There's the situations and how they react to it are different. That's all. The main character in your story, of course, is your protagonist. It's the one we follow throughout. And sometimes protagonists don't even enter the scene or enter the film until well into the first act, or even later than that. Generally, excuse me, it's the character that we meet earliest and for whom is in a certain status quo, and then something happens, this inciting incident, and forces them to change or to take a different path. And maybe they don't do that immediately. Is your character reactive? Is your character proactive? We talked about that yesterday. What kind of decisions do they make? What forces them to make that decision? So you have to really lay down, what does your character want? And what does your character need? Because most often they're very different. Want is a desire, need is what they ultimately will, set them on the correct path to whatever the film is about. And it may come much later, that discovery of what the real need is. And what's great is if these want and needs can come into conflict with each other. For example, if your character is very ambitious and wants to make money and wants to be successful, but what they really need is connection. They really need a family. They really need a home life, and those two things come into direct conflict with each other. So that brings us to conflict and tension, and you don't want to neglect that conflict and tension. Sorry, let me just get my notes here. So what you're ultimately going to do is, like I said, keep that tension going, and you're going to write a character bio for both your protagonist and your antagonist. And again, the antagonist is the opposite. It's the opposing force. Now, if it's an external force, if there's a meteorite about to hit Earth, or they get a diagnosis of cancer or something like that, that's an external. But if it's an internal, whether it be fear or insecurity or lack of belief in themselves or whatever, then that's more of an internal conflict that's affecting how they take action. And you want your antagonist to be pretty much as well-formed and strong as your protagonist, because the harder you want to be almost sadistic to your characters. You want to make it as extremely hard as throughout for them to accomplish whatever that goal is. And every scene should have conflict and tension, but overall there should be micro conflicts and tension throughout, things with each scene that's preventing them from getting what they want, and then overall this macro conflict and tension, which is what they're ultimately fighting against. So this antagonist has to be as well developed as your protagonist. I'll talk about what the homework is and how you're able to develop this character very shortly, right after the workout that we do. So the workout is, we're just going to continue on with what we've been doing. And like I said, we're just going to add a little bit each day. And that's going to be 25 high knees, where you literally lift your knees up. To left and right is considered 1. So that's 25. You're up to a 20-second plank. And again, you can do it on your elbows, or you can do it on your hands like you're about to do a push-up, hands and feet. And hold that for 20 seconds. Use your phone, time yourself. 15 lunges. You can go 2 forward and then 2 back, and that would be 4. Or you can just go front, left, right, and continue in from a standard position. And then we're on to a 15-second wall set. Again, that's where you're up against the wall. You don't touch your thighs or legs, and your legs are at a 90-degree angle, and you hold that pose. And lastly, you're up to 10 push-ups. So if you have to divide it into 2, do it, but try and do 10 in a row, down 2, up 2. Okay. And the homework for tomorrow, there'll be a place on the treatment will be due tomorrow as well. I gave you an extra day to do this. The character questionnaire shouldn't take you all that much time. And, have fun with it, but really don't just write an answer, really think about this. There are questions in there which you say, well, this doesn't apply to my script at all. But you never know. You never know how a character's skills or a character's traits will ultimately have an effect on your script. Like if a character's fears, will that affect it in, character's wants, character's needs, and so on. So there's a lot of questions to answer on the questionnaire. And I've put a link to it, but also I have it in the discussion. Go on to the assignments, and you'll find that's where you'll submit it. And you go from everything from name, age, gender, birthplace, political affiliation, education, height, weight, hair, skin, clothing, talents, skills, motivations, morals, fears, friends, and anything that's ultimately really important, it's all there. And I think by doing that, like I said, you create this well-rounded, and you can then go on and write a character bio if you so choose. I always do that when I was acting, and I often do it for the characters that I write. I write their history. I put them in different situations, and I really get to know these characters. So if I put them in any situation, I know how they're going to react to it, or pretty close to it. And then you're going to do one for the antagonist, same thing. And assuming that your antagonist is embodied by a human being, or a dog, or an entity, or whatever it might be. And by doing that, then you'll have 2 equally well drawn out forces that are going to fight each other, that are going to at least oppose each other and cause this conflict and this tension throughout. So do that for, like I say, for the antagonist and the protagonist, and have fun with that. And as far as tomorrow, we'll just continue on. We'll see you. It looks like I'll be able to make it in. I think the fires are okay so far. I mean, they're all around me, and there's wind out there, but right now the direction is okay, and they're at least able to use, drop the water. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. But I have all intentions of being there tomorrow, so we will continue. And have a great Thursday. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. So again, this is character, and go through the chapter in Script Gym in the book. I go much more into detail about character wants and needs and flaws and so on like that. So have fun with that, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.